sometimes. Other times I love to have you back. Can't think of a night that we ain't turn up to the max, no. Like that album just went platinum, yeah. Turns up to the max. If they pop somebody's chain, then we gotta get it back. No discussion to be had. We ain't going out like that, man. We lit.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. Obviously, you see the biggest edition. We're on YouTube Live. We already had a little test run, had a vacation time, had some adjustments, but we're coming back to you bigger and better. Sterling, you keep moving over there. It keeps flipping that camera back and forth. You ain't leaving the camera on me. You got to get this good face in here. Look at this. Look at all this. You see this work partner? Hairline looking sort of pseudo crisp. We got the tea popping, but obviously we got a lot as you guys know. The game one of the final series between the Warriors and the Cavs starts tonight. But I think there's a major news story that wasn't really talked about. And Sterling, I think you said you might have saw it on Twitter. This chick named Anna Delvey, who apparently finessed the entire world. Have you seen this?
Yeah, she was up in New York. You know, the New York social lifestyle network and life is grand. You know, it's very panache. You're up in there doing parties. It's stuff that, you know, I'll probably never do from a financial standpoint. And she was able to get in there and get in with these elites and with these socialites and really just con her way kind of through the system until it all, you know, obviously anything you build up like that is going to come crashing down.
So basically, like you just said, she finessed, I want to say at the end of the day, like $1 million, essentially, or close to $1 million. She swindled like $62,000 out of this like New York editor, but nobody knew where this chick came from. But she was like throwing out $100 bills left and right, hundreds, like Tyga says off his mixtape, and nobody like questioned her about it. See, my first red flag with this would be if you don't have a credit card ever. That's my first red flag. Like, who in this day and age doesn't keep a credit card on them? And so nobody like questioned her about stuff. She was staying at like the finest hotel or one of the finest hotels in New York City and just went on months after months taking trips to Morocco or like Africa, like all around the world, con like a big time artist to pay for a trip to Italy. And nobody like was the wiser because she's like, they thought she was like an heiress or possible trust fund baby to, you know, big oil company or something like that her father run. Nah, just straight finessing. Did that inspire you to like, damn, I need to step up my finesse game, or like there's no way that you could do that?
There's just no way mentally I could get away with that like the whole time. Like finessing that type of a scale is like, that's tough.
It's extremely tough.
And the mental part is like, I think what gets me, because you have to be so dialed in mentally to be able to do that. And like, because you have to like keep up with so many things going on in your head. Yeah, I mean, it's impressive, you know, but like I said, you build anything like that up, it's going to come crashing down.
So what ended up like catching up to her is the fact that like she couldn't pay her bill. She ran up like a $30,000 bill at the 11 Howard in New York City. They kicked her out. She tried to go to other hotels. Her like promise of wire transfers to come through didn't happen. They kicked her out. And so it just kept going on and on and on and on and on. And then it finally like the feds like ended up getting her. So she's in Rikers now with no bail. And her real name is Anna Sornio or something like that. Mm-hmm. She like walked around with like a German accent, but couldn't speak German, which was red flag number 2. How you gonna say you're from Germany all your life, can't barely speak German because she's like Russian, apparently.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Like, but I will say this though. This is the only principle you need to take in life while you're listening and watching this. You do need to learn how to finesse the system. And what I mean by finesse the system, the small scale level. Oh, you and your buddies are all going out. Tell them to go ahead and then wait in line, and you show up 2 minutes before and walk past the entire line and then hop on in, go into the bar if you know it's going to be a long line. Those type of finesses, or you get some good connects and then you finesse a little bit that way. But that's the small scale life, not on the scale of like 30K. But I mean, I kind of respect the game as much as a crappy person that she actually is. She's like minced. That's like, at that point, you think it's like something mental?
Yeah, at that point, I think it's psychological. Like you're a sociopath. I think it's the only way to explain that.
But I mean, she was out here
doing the most. That's like the dude from Hampton.
Oh, finesse god Tyrone. Tyrone.
Yeah, Tyrone.
Better call Tyrone home.
Tyrone graduated.
And
in his Gucci slippers.
As I sip my tea on this one. And might end up having Howard pay him in a settlement.
That's insane. That's insane.
That's the all-time finesse move. If this chick and Tyrone end up getting together, honestly, that'd be the greatest finesse power couple I'd ever see in our lifetime. Yeah. They could finesse their way greater than the Kardashians and Beyonce and Jay-Z and all the wealth that they've accumulated by just swindling people and gaining their trust. Like, all right, so like in this story, she was this close to getting a $25 million loan for a 45,000 square foot base building that's on like a block in New York City to open up her own art boutique. She was going to do like stores down low, a rotating art exhibit on like the second floor, and then like maybe rent out like apartments or something up top or a hotel up top. She almost got a $25 million loan with no credit. How do you like
people out here with like good credit? Like, man, I just got denied for an apartment. Like,
exactly. Like, that is unbelievable. But it's just the power of you throwing, like, you walk around with hundreds all day, and then you say you have like a Swiss bank account or something like that, and people just believe it because they're blinded by the money. I don't know why I haven't tried to do this. I should have done this. And then she was writing bad checks. I mean, she just turned down a plea deal. She's turned down a plea deal for 3 to 9 years, and so she's up like facing like 15 years up in Rikers with no bail. I mean, so she's taking a major L, but she was taking some W's for a minute.
Yeah,
it was a $25 million loan that really, like, you shouldn't have set your sights that high. Like, if you're getting like $30K from people and like rolling it in, she could have built something and ended up paying people back legitimately, but she shot for the moon and failed epically.
And is that how she got like caught? So she's kind of like Catch Me If You Can, kind of.
Basically, she's Catch Me If You Can. If you haven't seen the movie, it's with Leo DiCaprio, and he's writing bad checks and flying around the world as a Pan Am flight crew member.
He did everything.
He did it all. I mean, great movie and great story, real life story. And she's something similar, but she was more so going with the wire transfers. And I really don't know. I think once you really dive into it, like you need to have somebody like on the financial end of it all write a piece on how she did this, because they really didn't dive in fully like that. They just showed her expenses like $55,000 here, $160,000 there, $70,000. Like, she was just playing with money. You know who's playing with somebody's money right now?
Tyrone.
They go by the name of Push. Yeah. How does it? Let's say yeah.
Well, I have a bad pusher. I'm not. That was good. I have a bad push.
What's your pusher?
I can't even. I'm not even gonna try right now.
You can't get that. Yeah. My name is my name, King Push.
That's pretty good, actually.
I appreciate that. But he's messing with Drake's money, all of Drake's money. He's coming for his whole check line through 2018 summer to winter, as Drake's supposed to drop his Adonis line or Adonin line, whatever, and his album.
So he's definitely messing up his Adidas money, right? Because the brand hasn't dropped and all of his stuff hasn't dropped, and Pusha threw it out there and used obviously the blackface of Drake as the art cover for the diss track. This has been crazy, man. Because Drake, obviously, if we have to take this back, right? Like, Pusha came at Drake on Exodus 23:1 and really just talked about like how Drake wasn't hard, right? And that's like a hard song, but it's like Drake's not from the streets and he's not hard, blah blah. And Drake was like, like what? I mean, I'm not. And no one ever thought that he would come at Push. Next thing you know, Push comes out with Infrared off the Daytona, has some lines about how Drake doesn't write and all this other stuff. And kind of the same stuff that Meek talked about. And Drake came hard at him. But Drake came hard in this, like, hey, this is all for, like, kicks and giggles and like I'm gonna throw up a fake memo on Twitter and all this type of stuff. And Push was like, I'm gonna come with facts.
See, that's where Drake took the L. He had to realize you're dealing with a true OG in the game. Like Pusha's 40 years old or 30. He's 40 or 30.
41. Well, that
41.
was a great line by Drake, right? He was like, you're out here older than, whatever he said, older than Kanye or whatever. Because he's 41, Kanye's 40.
Yeah, so that's where Drake messed up. He ain't coming for somebody that grew up for the social media age. He grew up on somebody, you come at me, I'm gonna spit something real at you. And then like Push really dropped it. I mean, it was just a small line in infrared. It wasn't too heavy, but obviously he knew that Drake would respond. And he came accordingly. Like he said it. I mean, he said it, and we obviously played a little clip. It's a surgical summer. He's about to peel layer by layer, and I hope Drake doesn't respond because it might be career ender. It really could be.
So here's the thing about Drake, right? Is he's always had his ducks in a row. He manipulates the media. He manipulates social media to help and influence himself, which is awesome, right? It's incredibly smart, incredibly business savvy. But now he's in a situation where, like you said, if he tries to come back, like what else do we not know about Drake? And for us to not know that Drake had a kid, I think is pretty incredible. Because we just know stuff about people,
Yeah, like he hit that one pretty well. I got to give him a clap for that one because that's damn near impossible in this day and age to hide a kid, back payments to the stripper who.
And that's the other thing is she's a porn star. So like I just think that would be that people would find that out, right?
I don't know how he did it, but Pusha said he was playing Border Patrol, so that's how he did it. Pusha let us know. Pusha played no jokes on that one. Oh, yeah. Hey, we got to give a shout out to Pusha. Pusha came out here like Inspector Gadget with the go-go arms, everything, grabbed information left and right, threw it out here, having us all sipping tea around the country. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy how much investigative work that he did, and then all the stuff that we didn't know about Drake. But I mean, I got to give, like I said, but in all seriousness, like I got to give credit to Drake for just keeping his life as personal as possible. Like he doesn't do interviews per Breakfast Club, how I listened to them when Pusha was on, but like he's probably going to have to rewrite his entire album for the most.
I bet he dropped something after the game tonight.
That'd be smart. What do you think he should label it? Should he say put it as game 3?
So I don't know what he'll label it as, right? But I think I don't know. Especially if like LeBron has a big game or something. I don't know. But I think it's gonna be something along the line of like the King's back, I don't know, something like that. Because he like Pusha calls himself King Push.
Yeah.
I can just see that. I can just see listen, Drake is gonna respond.
Right.
But he's like trying to put out information right now, like to TMZ, and did the whole like his notes app and put it on Instagram. Like, I took this picture. So the thing that doesn't make sense is the blackface picture, right? Whatever. People have kids. That happens, like some, whatever. Like we can be adults about that conversation. But I think from a racial standpoint, like Drake has made money. We had this conversation about Bruno Mars and Justin Timberlake. If you're new to the podcast, we had this conversation about Bruno and JT about how they, people feel like they profit off of like the Black community, and then don't speak up when issues in the Black community arise. Well, Drake is kind of the same way. Drake's mixed. He reps Memphis and Toronto all the time, but he doesn't speak when issues in the Black community come up. And people are kind of calling him out now, especially with this picture that's surfacing of him in blackface. And he's trying to say like, oh, it was an expose. It was a photography expose about how like Black actors are mistreated and not getting roles. And everyone's like, dude, you got a role at 15 years old as a Black actor.
Yeah, this was Drake's statement. It says, I know everyone is enjoying the circus, but I want to clarify this image in question. This was not from a clothing brand shoot or my music career. This picture's from 2007, a time in my life where I was an actor and I was working on a project that was about young Black actors struggling to get roles, being stereotyped and typecast. The photos represented how African Americans were once wrongfully portrayed in entertainment. Me and my best friend at the time, Mazin El Sadig, who is also an actor from Sudan. I like how he threw that in. We're attempting to like
he's really black.
We didn't need that extra set of commas in there to break up this sentence or this paragraph. We're attempting to use our voice to bring awareness to the issues we dealt with all the time as black actors at audition. I can't get it out of my head now. He really just pulled, I got an extra black friend. So yes, this works. Look at my black friend that I got. Darker black friend. He really just pulled that on that one, which I don't think a lot of people have commented on. But
no, he really did. He like walked up. It was like, when that person is like really says something out of line and they're like, no. Like, look, I have a black friend, and they like show you a picture on Instagram of like their one black friend. Like that's what we just did.
I'm not racist. Like I have so many black friends. I can say this or I can do this because look, I have my extra black friend with me. So like, yeah, like his extra blackness with my half blackness all mixed in there, intertwined. We're good. I agree with you though. Like he did get his first role at 15, and 2007. After that, you don't really see him. I mean, the only thing that people can point to right now is God's Plan, but God's Plan, that wasn't his money. That was studio money.
Well, it's also like a cool creative idea for a video and talking awesome. About like giving back and all that stuff. It's a cool concept, but like Drake's not out here doing that. Yeah,
like I'm not knocking. I mean, God's Plan was an awesome video, and I wish people continue to pay that forward because as much as the media likes to portray that everything's going to shit, it's not that bad. It's people are still close, and but yeah, I don't know. He's got to come with something that's not a rap. He needs to sit in front of a camera just like this, address the masses, and let's move forward as adults. Because Pusha probably won't come back, but if he raps, he can't go the meme route and think that he's going against Meek Mill, because that's not the monster you're going up against. Drizzy, Aubrey Graham. I wish he'd come on here. Wait, we're low level podcast, but hey. Hey, we would give Drake the entire time to let him talk if he wanted to. We wouldn't interrupt him or anything. So Drake, if you watch this, come on, man, you can explain it. We don't angle anything. We will let you explain yourself. You could look at our past stuff that we've talked to people. We want you to get your message out so people know about you and let yourself explain everything how it is, and we won't interrupt you if you don't need to. But he does have some explaining to do to everybody.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. It'll be interesting, man. So you say he shouldn't come back. So what if he doesn't say anything?
I think he wins. If he doesn't say anything, he doesn't win. He wins for himself, because the only way he can only dig himself in a bigger hole if he tries to come back with something. Because that's it. He'll dig himself. Like Pusha will take it so low. Well, he already took it low. He talked about 40 being sick, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's the wrong line because he's got MS and he's possibly dying." He laid out facts. Did it sound a little disrespectful? Depends on how you hear it.
It was incredibly disrespectful.
Depends on how you hear it. It could be factual for others, but he already came back. He's called him a deadbeat. Said his dad walked out at 5. I mean, no one expected him to come just out of left field with all these facts. So like, we know Pusha's story. If you don't know Pusha's story, Pusha T, like he said, the only person that sold more dope than him is Eazy-E. That's why he really was pushing out there back in the day before he joined up with he and his brother and made clips. And everybody's making that grinding beat on the on the lunch tables back in 2008, whatever. Come up through that time frame.
You say clips was 2008? No,
2002. 2002.
Yeah.
Okay.
That song was old.
Grinding, better. God, but hey, the beats on the table, that's where it used to be at. But he used to be pushing, and like he talked about his whole life, so there's nothing that Drake can do.
Well, everybody's got skeletons, everybody's got stuff that people don't want to know. But it'll be interesting if Drake wants to expose that. Like, again, it's if Drake knows he has more. I think Drake has more to lose, right? And if there's more information that Drake doesn't want out there, then like you said, I kind of just make a statement and be like, all right, let's just move on.
Yeah,
I'm gonna drop my album and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, and I think I saw somebody write this, and I don't know who to give credit to, but it was basically people that like Drake will take his statement that he said for the blackface and accept it, and the people that don't like Drake are going to just continue to question it and say, no, that's not enough.
Of course.
Sorry about that.
I mean, that would happen to. I think that would happen to anybody. I mean, Drake has a ton of people that feel like he's kind of fake and it doesn't represent like true. I don't know. I hate to say that, like true hip hop. Like Drake's an artist, right? Like he can rap, obviously sings, and people feel like he's sometimes too emotional, but like whatever. I agree, man. It's like, we have a friend who is a writer in West Hollywood, and he despises Drake and feels like, Drake is like the downfall of our society. So if you're one of those people, then yeah, you're like loving this moment right now.
I will say, and one of our friends put this the best way. I think many of you will agree with this once I say it. Drake is talented, like you said. I have no problem with Drake. I love his music. I think Take Care is a great album. He can flip into being a rapper, being a singer, being mixing, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But Drake knows how to ride waves. Mm-hmm. He's a wave rider. He's sitting there up on his Sea-Doo, his jet ski, and he rides the wave, and he hops off on the wave as the wave is at the climax, so it doesn't get corny. And then he goes on and finds the next one. So, like, for example, I mean, the perfect example right now is you jumped on the shoot dance. He got up with the Versace remix as Migos were starting to really hit the scene back in Atlanta. Then he threw Migos into the international realm from just being the Southeastern region. And then nobody heard of Block Boy. And then, shoot that dance. And the next thing you know, that goes crazy. He rides like the generational waves. And that was, basically kind of talked about though in This Is America. He's not talking about Drake, but how everybody rides the dance waves and then that distracts us from a lot of stuff. But if you know how to ride that perfectly, and then people don't call you corny for doing it, and you sound right in every avenue that you ride it in, you can make a huge career like he's done. I mean, I think he's figured it out social media game, and he's figured it out musically, which is
he's done great, right? And like you said, like he started making like Caribbean beats and like doing the whole accent and saying ting and stuff like that, and then he switched up, and he knows how to listen, man. He knows how to navigate it, but can he still navigate it with the way that we look at him now? Which
I don't know. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Not as tough as what LBJ has in front of him for Game 1 in the finals versus the Golden State All-Star Warriors. But he's got it. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah. Should we? You want to jump into the Warriors?
I mean, we can. We'll do a little quick commercial and then we'll come back. We'll take like a 30-second spot off.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I ask myself, what am I doing here? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And we're back. Quick little break. I mean, if you want to lead into, I can lead into it, but it's the 76ers owner who had burner accounts. You know who needed a burner account? Roseanne. Roseanne definitely needed a burner account because I feel bad for all the hundreds of production staff or however many people they have because they are now out of a job because of somebody else's comments. Real quick. Do you think? I mean, they already cut off syndication from TV Land, Paramount Network, and Country Music TV to not do the reruns for the Roseanne show. Major overreaction by them or justifiable reaction? And do you think there's any way to possibly plant somebody new into that show, switch the name up, or keep the name of Roseanne going and Roseanne's just a character? Because what do you think should happen or could happen, and do you agree with everything that did happen?
Yeah, this is tough. It's similar to the whole Jemele Hill situation, even though, let's clarify, Jemele Hill was never fired. She still works at ESPN. Yeah, I think it's one of those where I definitely think the show has to be canceled at that point, right? Because ABC at that point is like, we have these values, and this isn't the first time she's done something like this. So you have to make sure that, and listen, and I'm sure that ABC knows, like, they have a very large, like, minority audience of people that, like, are very moderate. So you don't want to alienate those people and hurt your other shows. What essentially happens, right, with this is it's the same thing with ESPN. You don't want to hurt the full part of the brand, and ABC is a part of Disney, to where, like, yeah, maybe people might have still watched Roseanne, and Roseanne was a really good show for them. But it's like, hey, you know what? Like, we don't want to lose these other shows or these other numbers and start really falling behind in this race that we have. So, like you said, it sucks for the people that are writers and production staff, people, you know, that are just like working people that are in Hollywood, you know, doing their thing. As far as the syndication goes, that surprised me. I think that's where I was surprised. It's like those syndications have been on for a long time. You know, Roseanne, the first Roseanne, had been off for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's kind of where people kind of weirdly draw the line. It's like, how do you look at your bottom line? And if you think that this is going to affect it, you know, you make a change. That's what everyone did.
Yeah. I guess I'm with you on that. That's the only thing to be said. I was shocked about the syndication because I didn't think that was going to happen. They're drying her pockets up real quick.
Oh yeah. Gosh. I mean, that's where people, you know, if you do TV, like, that's where you want, right? Syndication for that to, you know, look at Seinfeld. Like, he doesn't, I mean, he's been doing stuff lately, but he doesn't need to do anything. So for that to happen, just wow.
Yeah. You might see Roseanne down at your local unemployment office. Who knows? Because
I doubt that.
I mean, she had a good stand. I mean, obviously she was huge, had stand-up role, and she's fine financially. You just feel for everybody else that was on that show. That's tough. That's tough. You think we're going to start rolling out with season 2. Season 1 was huge, and then boom. But at that point, before we hit the 76ers owner, people, two things. Whether if you're racist, you're not, you're mad at your ex, you think you got a funny joke about a very controversial topic. If you're on social media and one of two things have occurred, and it's basically really all ties back to one. Actually, two things. One, if you're really mad, put the phone or the keyboard down. And two, if you're drunk, if you've had any type of substance, put the phone down. The only time I will make a small amendment to that, if you have the buzz going and you're throwing a funny joke out about a sporting event that has nothing to do, that's nothing controversial, and you're like, this is pretty funny, like, we can go along. Like, if you're trying to make it funny and enjoy the masses, bring laughter to people in a great way, go all out with it. But if you're doing it in a way that you know that it's in the back of your mind, if you could do it in your back of your mind, could stop your fingers from putting send, just put the phone down. Don't even pick it up. Don't even try and formulate any type of tweets. If you do those two things, people, I guarantee you your life will be so much better, and people won't know the hidden thoughts that you have inside yourself. And then you can live life, your second double life, as best as possible as you want to, and then live your first life out in the real world, and people will never be the wiser and not know who your true colors are. So I'm giving people that might be really bad people some good advice, because a lot of people need it out here because they don't know how to put this. Everybody needs to put their ideas on Twitter. I still don't fully get that all the time, but I mean, the 76ers owner or his wife right now is catching that flack, which is a big reason why LeBron will not go there if he does leave Cleveland after this year. But you want to tell the story about that? Sterling, can you hear me? A little quick technical issue, but Sterling. So lead in, tell them what the story is on the 76ers owner and the potential burner accounts that they have going.
Yeah, so not their own, their GM, Colangelo, who's the son of Jerry Colangelo, right? I believe that's right. And yeah, he's been running the Sixers for a few years now, ever since he came in, and Sam Hinkie. His dad was like overseeing his basketball operations, and so they kind of removed Sam Hinkie, put him in place as a GM. So he's been there, and it looks like he started these web of burner accounts. And he had one account that he's fessed up to, and nothing was really weird from that account. But he had these other accounts that all kind of like worked as a web. And it seems that this web that he has is, alludes to him talking, kind of crap about like Marco Fultz and Ben Simmons and Jahlil Okafor, and just, explaining why a trade with Jahlil Okafor didn't go down and all this other stuff, and just really crazy. The weirdest part is like where the information came from, and it's this anonymous, I think an anonymous Sixer fan, maybe someone within the building, but we think an anonymous Sixer fan reached out to someone at the Ringer and was like, hey, like, I have this information, like, I want you to help follow it. And, they went through for like 2 months and watched these accounts interact and watched tweets and looked at tweets and looked at who they retweeted and favorited and everything, right, that goes into Twitter, and kind of found this web that he was using these essentially these burner accounts to kind of talk, like I said, talk about, like, talking how like Fultz is possibly not injured, but that it's all mental, and that it's also something with his trainer and all this other stuff, stuff that it's not like crazy terrible stuff. It's just like stuff you shouldn't be like leaking information like that, or like even kind of saying that if you're the GM of the Sixers.
Right.
So just a crazy, crazy story. And then we found out more information last night that we think that his wife is actually maybe behind one of the accounts, one of the burner accounts, and also some other accounts. And, they're leaving YouTube comments, and just like, it's really just insane, right? It looks like this is like Bonnie and Clyde couple that's out here on the interwebs, just like getting in the thick of it with people.
Okay, so this was Brian Colangelo's statement that he gave to the Ringer. He acknowledged, he goes, like many of my colleagues in sports, I have used social media as a means to keep up with the news. While I have never posted anything whatsoever on social media, I have used the @Fila123456 Twitter account. It's such an old person to make a Twitter account like that. Referenced in this story, blah, 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 blah. He's referenced in this story to monitor our industry and other current events. This storyline is disturbing to me on many levels, as I am not familiar with any of the other accounts that have been brought to my attention, nor do I know who is behind them or what their motive may be in using them. Let's see here. And it goes down. Joel Embiid kind of put up on Twitter, Joel told me that at Sam Hinkie is better and smarter than you at the whatever burner account. I love Joel Embiid. I think he's hilarious.
Oh, yeah. But the Sixers were furious. They were just.
Oh, yeah.
Because he did like a half apology a couple nights ago, but not really. He was just like, this was fun.
Oh, this has been half apology season for a lot of people. Just like that, the racist lawyer in New York City, his apology was like half written. Everybody writing half written apologies. No one really cares because they're just mad they got caught. That's all it is. But what's your major thought on people having burner accounts? KD had the burner account. Probably so many others probably do, but won't admit it, or they haven't gotten caught because they're better at it than others. But do you see it as a necessary tool, or do you see it as kind of a cop-out that you can't say something face-to-face, or that you think that you're going to jeopardize dollars? Do you think they're thinking about their brand, or do you think they're thinking brand to save face, or they're just kind of sociopathic and having to go to these burner accounts and being a troll and not being able to say it to somebody face-to-face?
No, I think it's strategic, right? I think it's one of those where, let's say you're in a relationship, or say you were in a relationship and you want to time to time check up on said person that you were in a relationship with, right? Mm-hmm. People create accounts for that type of stuff, or people create accounts, say you just use it for like work purposes, and then you're like, oh, I kind of want to like get into the social side of it, but you don't want people to always know that it's you. Like you can still, because Twitter can be kind of fun, right? Twitter can be fun to like go at people and interact and all that stuff. But yeah, it's to have 5 of them though seems pretty excessive. I understand one.
I do have to say, if you're in a relationship and you make a burner account just to be able to check up on your significant other, whether that's your girlfriend or boyfriend, you are at that point in time absolutely crazy.
I disagree. I would imagine. This is just me imagining.
I
don't have one.
Let me strap in because it's about to get heated real quick. What you got?
No, I'm saying and I also was alleging, like, if you were in a relationship with somebody, say you break up, right, and you want to find ways to keep tabs on somebody, you can create a burner account. I also think that, like,
But I don't get that. Why
Go
not
on.
just, are you saying like out of fear of liking a post and then they're like, oh, so-and-so won't let go? Or is that what you're trying to say or insinuate?
So, say if you're in private, right? And say if a person's on private and are like, you want to follow somebody. I think there's just so many different ways. Listen, I actually just had a conversation with someone that was like, my boyfriend's exes or like his past flings have been trying to follow me with these burner accounts, but I know that it's them. And it's like stuff like, listen, I think it happens all the time.
Right, but I think you just got to let go at that point. Like
I'm not disagreeing with you there. You're also, I think, negating the fact that people are insane, and people also want to keep tabs on people. Right?
That's what I'm saying.
Social media is for.
That's what I'm saying. You are a sociopath or whatever at that point. You have
so that's not a sociopath.
You have small signs of that. If you have to go out and make a burner account just to make sure to keep up with whatever so and so is doing because it's already been over, or you just don't trust whoever you're already in a relationship with. You don't need all that.
But people do it.
I get that because they have a small part of them that's very sociopathic.
That's not. You're using that wrong word.
How am I using it wrong?
I think it's just espionage. Like people want to know, people just like want to know what if someone's like talking. Because here's the other thing, right? If you have
a person suffering from chronic mental disorder with abnormal or violent social behavior,
okay.
Not violent, it is very abnormal. Boom.
Okay. What I'm saying is though is sometimes too, right? People, you may not say something if you don't think someone's following you, right? Especially if you're private. So, so say if you didn't know X person's following you, if that person makes a burner account so they can follow you, and you've been like talking, shit about them, then it's like, oh, well, then you can kind of see some. I listen. I think it's big for people that are private, big for people on private. I say like on Instagram or Twitter.
Yeah,
and I think it's just people. We are in this weird world right now where we want to continue to like keep tabs on what people are doing at all times, and the best way to do that is to like, and it's easy to do on Instagram and Twitter is to make a fake account.
I can somewhat agree with if like someone's out there talking a lot of shit and you're just like, all right, I need to see what this is about.
True.
Because if you don't have your buddies to be able to send that to you, if they don't follow, if they're not in that same circle that you have with that other person, I can get that. But at the same point in time, why bring all that energy back into yourself? If it's already gone, listen, people, if it's gone and it's not coming back, take your energy, move that energy somewhere else. You don't need to bring all that negative energy back into. That's why people live short lives, man. That's why people get gray hair early, because you're bringing in all this energy that you don't need. Keep the positivity around you. That's how I live. That's how I try to live. Even if bad stuff happens, got to keep it rolling. Got to keep it moving. Because if you try and surround yourself with all that, that's just too much. That's the one thing about social media. Because I know you're like how you said people like to keep tabs on everybody.
Yeah.
Take it back to before social media was really big. How did you fare in life? Before the YouTube era was really going, everything was fine. If you had a problem with somebody else, or if somebody, the girl that you liked, didn't like you back, you didn't keep stalking her, you just moved on. People have such a hard time just carrying on with their life now because they have to be up with other people's lives instead of just keeping on with their life. That's just keep on with yours.
And because we have access to people's lives, and because we have access to people, like you said, like, if something like goes wrong or like it didn't work out or something, you can always be like, oh, hey, they're single now, or like, whatever. Right. And it's just a weird, like you said, it's a weird way that we kind of live now. I watch, I always think about this too. I watch Cheers. You ever watch Cheers, the show Cheers?
I haven't, but not knocking the show. I just haven't watched the show.
I had watched it. I was trying to explain to people. I was like, that show wasn't on in our household. I've been watching.
No, it was not.
I've been watching it on Netflix, and it's actually like a really funny show. Also, kind of like I want to bring it back to like what we're talking about here, where like people think about going into a bar and like not putting it on Instagram or like Snapchat or anything, right? And just like living your life like in that moment in the bar. That's why I think Cheers is such a cool show. Now, like I get to a bar, like people are tweeting, you're like looking, you're like, oh, look, so and so's over here. Like we should go. Like you're always like kind of like you're always doing that now, even when you're like out and should be like in the moment, right? And it's just a weird way that we live now. You know, that's
It
why
is.
it's fun to read about.
It is weird, especially like say if you go to like a concert or like a festival, and it's cool to capture like moments that are cool or whatever. Like say like the intro, somebody coming in. Like I wish I could go back, and I wish we had the technology we have now to catch Lil Wayne's opening for when we went to the 2006 concert at New Year's Eve, because that was dope. Like that's cool. Like catching 2009. I don't know, but whatever. New Year's Wayne concert. It's cool to catch those snippets of those moments because you want to try and hold on to those. But like I feel like everybody had, like if your Snapchat story is over 100 seconds of the same concert, just stop. Like no one needs to see all that, nor does anybody want to see all that. But people don't go on Snapchat anymore because Snapchat has ruined that's their whole stuff. That's another story. But yeah, people aren't really in the moment. I would love. I obviously like that's a hazard to do. But say if there's like a bar that you walk in, radio signals cut off. The only way to get your radio signals to walk back outside. Not on and they're doing it on purpose. Not like it's a thick concreted wall, which I guess you could do that as well.
No, like I mean, I think it's one of those things where like people need to be able to get phone calls and text messages. But
yeah, it's a safety hazard, I think.
But I think it'd be interesting, man. Like I can't imagine. Like I think about it all the time. Like even if I get bored at work, I like kind of look at my phone and like, oh, I'll scroll Twitter right now. You know?
Yeah. It helps pass time. Like I have a kind of a cool little neighborhood bar that's down the street from where I live, and when you go there with friends, or if you're just kind of going there, you start, you meet people like a lot of the locals that were here before. You just go in and start having conversation with people, and it's just a good time. Like you're just like, damn, this is like it's a good feel. It's like it's nice and chill, just having a relaxing time. I guess it's kind of on the way of Cheers a little bit, but I guess that's a funnier show. But at that same point, you walk into someplace else, or I still do it there. Like I'm just on my phone for a little bit. Like sometimes I'm just in that mood. I'm here. I'm gonna grab a drink, and I'm just gonna scroll through my phone and just do that because I want to be in my own zone.
Yeah,
and
we're conditioned that way. I do the same thing. I have a neighborhood bar, and it's just like nice to be like. It's nice sometimes to be not in my apartment, but it's also like I kind of want to be in my own world where I'm not in my own apartment.
Exactly, it's tough, but I would say if you're out with a bunch of friends, I try and be on the phone a little bit, but not like OD because you're out with friends. Like just enjoy it, but at the same time, like
I try to enjoy it.
It always gets annoying because it's not annoying, but everybody tries to make their time seem like it's so much better than what it actually is on Insta or social media. Just I don't know why people do that, or you actually are having a really dope time like that. I mean, who knows? But I feel like a lot of people try and frame something one way, but it's really not like that for the most part.
Yeah. Well, take this all the way back, right? With burner accounts. So you will never, I guess you're saying you're never gonna have a burner account. I think so. I wonder too. I bet parents have it for their kids.
Yeah, but that's different though. Like you're doing that to protect your kid for the most part. Have you seen what these kids out here doing?
No, I mean protection. I understand, but it's also like you're trying to keep tabs.
Yeah, but that's completely different from being an ex-boyfriend who can't get over the fact, or ex-girlfriend can't get over the fact that someone's moved on and they're on private, so they have to know what they're doing. Like, that's completely different.
This is true. I agree. The premise is different.
Like you could have your kid, they're on private and they friend you, but they don't know who you are because they're getting their follower count up, and then you start scrolling through their pictures, and it's like, why is Joe Rock Canada commenting on every one of your things, and it seems like you've had interactions, you see replies, and next you could save your kid from having an interaction, they go to meet up and have a child abduction. So like you don't know, because there's some wild stuff out there. So like as a parent, yeah, I mean I can understand having a burner account and following your kid. I think you could throw the burner account when they get like 20, and you can just make your real account and follow them, but that's to each his own. But I have no problem with a parent kind of doing that. You got to protect kids out here. There's so many different avenues of what kids are doing and can get in trouble with nowadays. It's so wild. from watching them eating Tide Pods, which, by the way, people, is not millennials. That's what Generation Y or Z, whatever's below us. That's not us.
That's the Y. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, Tide Pods, burning themselves with deodorant spray. Like, nah, that's not us. Don't throw that on millennials. And that was the thing that pissed me off about millennials. That goes to like the age of 37, and you have coaches that are like, all these young millennials who are 37 or 38. I think it was like one of the two. Who are that age range, blaming all of the young new 22-year-olds or 19-year-olds like they're not in the same category. Like you throwing yourself under the bus trying to act all macho and bravado for all these cameras. So stupid.
Millennials like 1981 to like 1994 or something. 95.
Okay. So it's so stupid. But speaking of kind of basketball, obviously people could kind of see you had Stephen A. Smith in the background for a second. He's still up on there. Can't believe what's going on. Actually, that might be Reggie. I don't know.
Brother.
LeBron James. Finals are on tonight. We'll kind of give our prediction. Obviously, game one will be when you hear this tomorrow or whenever you watch this, game one will already be done.
Yep.
But my point with this, and I think this is what's going to make the series very interesting. 2 points. If Iggy doesn't come back, I think that's the biggest storyline. But 2, we haven't had a LeBron James with no pressure on him at all. This series, LeBron just making it to the finals took all the pressure off him. People for submitting his greatness and people questioning, is LeBron James good enough to do it? Because he took this band of misfits and made it all the way to the finals. Sure. So, hold on, let me get some tea. Oh, God. So you have a LeBron James that has no stress on his shoulders for the outside world, and it's just the stress of his team. Oh, buddy, that's Pistons. What 2000 whatever that series was? That's going to be that LeBron James because that team wasn't expected to take it that far with the Pistons. They won
07.
07. Yeah, that series. Like, there's no stress on LeBron, and that is the most fearful thing I think that the Warriors. I don't know if they thought about. Because all the pressure is on the Warriors to win with four All-Stars. There's no pressure because no one expects the Cavs to win at being plus 675 as the Warriors are minus 900 going in for betting odds if you wanted them as the series begins tonight.
I think it's higher now. I think it's like 1,500, 1,400.
Well, when I checked it the other day, I thought it initially came out like that and then it got adjusted.
No, maybe it did. I didn't see it go down much. Because it's like if you put, I think it's like now if you put $80,000 down, you would only get $10,000 back or something.
Right. That's why. I mean, there could be some big payouts if I guess they probably move the line today as Kevin Love just got cleared.
No, they didn't. The line is still 13.
No. For the Cavs.
Oh, for the game or for the Cavs to win the series?
For the Cavs to win the series with Kevin Love coming back.
Yeah. So listen, I hadn't thought about that. Was a great point you just made. It's a really good point actually. LeBron has no. I'm not fearful of LeBron. I'm just thinking LeBron. I didn't think about the no pressure part. I actually still think LeBron has a little bit of pressure though, because it's still his legacy, right? But I think he's already kind of floated out the idea. Like if you heard his press conference yesterday, like, listen, man, it's not he doesn't have Kyrie, right? It's not the same team. There's no Richard Jefferson, like just making Richard Jefferson plays. Like it's just a different team. And I think he knows that. He's got to have, JR's got to go off. Jeff Green's got to go off. Corver's got to be 2014, 2015 Hawks Corver for anything to happen. And I agree with you, though, to the fact that, like, I think LeBron making it here cements him as, like, one of the best ever, maybe the best ever. But I think the Warriors are going to win in 5.
Like I said before. You never count out King James. But I want to lean to what you said there with the Warriors and them being able to take the series.
Mm-hmm.
But
wait, you say you're leaning King James? Like you think he's going to win the series?
No, I said with you and the Warriors taking the series. But you never count out King James. And I think it is a scary thought that with no pressure on him being able to really go Mamba mode and take 50 shots, and people won't question it because it's like, look who he's playing with, especially if J.R. Smith comes out scoring 0 points in the first half like he did. He and Jeff Green combined for like 3 points forgot which game it was, or in the first like 6 quarters of a game and another in the half a quarter of the next game. I'm like, so everybody knows what LeBron is dealing with and what they're going up against. With Iggy not being back, nobody can guard LeBron on for the Warriors. KD's too light. All he would do is back him down like he did Marcus Smart, like he's not even there.
But let him do that. So 2s don't equal 3s. That's the thing. So LeBron is gonna get his.
Yeah.
I think we all know that. It's just that one, you have to think one game, right? The Warriors just like don't care. So one game they're not going to care, and they'll probably lose that game.
It might be tonight. they might not care tonight. Be honest with you.
But outside of that, like they would have to have historic, like bad shooting games for them to lose a game.
It could happen because even though I said before that this is KD's team, even though I think this is KD's team, I think KD hurts them by the fact that this is the most that they have played one-on-one basketball. So they've transitioned from being the passing cut, clean offense that everybody can get a touch, and if you have a look, dish that off. Let's keep it flowing. And you're ultimately, as the shot clock hits 7 or 6, it's going to be a wide open shot for somebody.
Yep.
KD has transformed this team into more of what OKC was with Harden and Westbrook, and finding the shot, cutting, and then someone's going to come open by that drive and by that penetration, which is what the Rockets were doing. And then they just went away from that and shot 25 threes and missed all the threes instead of driving and kicking and trying to take it to 27.
27 in a row.
Yeah, like and they didn't drive. Like all they had to do was just keep taking it to the basket, but instead you're out here dribbling and shooting. But he's transformed the team into more of a one-on-one team, and I think that's going to be tough.
I think they get back to what they do. I agree. Well, I think what happened though in that series was Durant had so many mismatches because Chris Paul and PJ Tucker were guarding him so many times that they were just like, he can get his shot at any time. Like, why not go to him? You know, basketball is all about mismatches. So I think they tried to exploit that, but I think they just tried to exploit it too many times. So I'm with you. If the Warriors play Warrior basketball, and are you gonna give my man Steph Curry a little credit in Game 7? You always talking about he never hits big shots. He never hits shots to take the lead.
I will
give my man Steph Curry a little credit.
I will. I will give him credit. That's the first time I've seen. People don't know if you haven't listened episodes prior. I said Steph, and I still believe it. He had one game. One game doesn't change everything. I say Steph disappears in big moments, and somebody else hits the shot that either puts them up by 2, ties the game, or by 1, and Steph makes the next continuing shot that either puts them in the lead or extends the lead. So I never thought Steph made the very clutch or the most clutch shot of every game. He was balling. I had to give it to him. He balled out in Game 7 versus the Rockets, and that was Steph's team that night. And then obviously KD doing his one-on-one. Like KD, you can't stop KD. Like you really can't. But Steph made all the shots that you needed to make to extend that lead because they just took off on the Rockets. I will give you that one. I'll put my hands up. I'm gonna give you that one. Steph did what he had to do. But if he can come out and do the same thing throughout the finals, I might change my whole opinion. But one game is not indicative of a changing pattern of the past. Hopefully, it's insinuating that he is moving into a different direction and he is growing as a player, as a clutch player.
You just said the 2-time MVP is growing as a player. Okay.
Yes, because he's unreal in the regular season, but then when it comes to playoffs, he does what I already just said. So growing as a playoff player, I will say that. Let me correct my words. Growing as a player in the playoffs. I hope he can, and it's going to be a fun series. Hopefully, I hope it is because the season is climaxing to a point where I think this is one of the NBA's best produced seasons that they've had in a while.
Yeah, it's been a great season. Who do you what's your prediction?
LeBron James in 7. LeBron James in 7. Give me LeBron. Now, I took a bet for $20 on LeBron, so I want LeBron in 7. Let's take it. Game 7, LeBron James. Don't fail me. Don't fail me now.
I'm gonna say Warriors in 6, and I think it's 5, but I'll give LeBron and the NBA the refs a game 2, and I'll say Warriors in 6.
Well, and if you guys haven't caught the Stanley Cup playoffs, I have to say Las Vegas is pretty dope. Their intro is pretty awesome, and the game's been pretty cool. I think it's 1-1. Caps and Las Vegas Knights in their inaugural season, which is an unreal. I thought the Atlanta United soccer team was going to make the same run last year, but got knocked out by Columbus. But check out the NHL Stanley Cup final because it's been a pretty good series, and I've been learning a lot about hockey. I'm not the biggest hockey guy. I got drawn into this because Las Vegas intro. Have you seen it? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they went above and beyond Cirque du Soleil.
Literally, I mean, but I would love that. I mean, obviously, I call it lit cheesy because it's lit, but it's also everybody knows it's cheesy. Like you're watching, it's cheesy. But
yeah. Well, that first one was a lot. Like they went a little too long.
They went far, but
the second one was like better because it just wasn't as long. But
yeah, it's something that I just appreciate because I think it's hilarious. And like if you're there, you would get extremely hype off of it because it's just a dope production. Like you're getting your money's worth regardless of the team production, like from the beginning to the end. Because it's Vegas. Vegas gonna put on a show. So check that out, and also follow us on Instagram and on Twitter, to the Macks _podcast. We'll put that link down there. And what's our Twitter? To the Macks on Twitter. Sorry.
Yeah, to the Macks.
To the Macks on Twitter. So follow us Twitter, Instagram. Hit that follow button. Click it. We got some new stuff releasing. It's at To the Macks Radio on Twitter. We got some new logos coming. Finally. Shout out to my man, Tyree. I don't drop the full government because that's not what we do here. We just keep it straight and simple. But shout out to my boy. He hooked us up. Also, we'll put a link to his Twitter for his artwork that he does and continue to help grow with us. I know we've been a little bit shaky when it comes to putting out some products, but we were trying to get this transition over to YouTube. Some editing kind of went awry a little bit. And we got some cool stuff coming content-wise. So we appreciate everybody. This is To the Macks. Y'all have a great weekend.